One of the most sensational, dynamic performers of the last decade, Mr. Johnnie Ray.
Well, after that introduction, the only thing I can do is go jump in the pool.
Do you see any parallel between Johnnie Ray and Elvis Presley as to the way you both hit the American public? Of course, I remember everything you did, Johnny, so very well, because I was getting started in radio about the same time you were with the records, and I never saw an entertainer hit with such impact that Johnnie Ray hit. Not anyone, but do you see a parallel between yourself and Presley with the...
Honestly,
with
I do see a parallel between Elvis Presley and myself. When Mitch Miller took me in hand and we recorded Cry and the Little White Cloud That Cried, I have to admit, confess, and claim that we set a new trend in popular music as far as the singers were concerned. I'm not saying that this is something that was good or something that was bad. I'm only saying it was something that was successful. Now, Presley came along several years later, and I'm not saying that I like Presley's singing. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm looking at it very objectively. Presley came along, and Victor, I think that's the people he records for, did something with him. They got him out of left field. And here was a kid that hit, and he hit real big. And I think it was in keeping with a trend that was established by myself. And even before me, I would say possibly Frankie Lane would have laid the groundwork pretty good, although I don't think that Lane's style was as explosive or as controversial as myself and Presley.
Do you think you have a bigger adult audience today than when you first did Cry?
There's no question of it.
Now, do you think, since we have a parallel drawn here somewhat between you and Presley, do you believe that Presley, to keep his standing as a top entertainer, do you think he will have to get a bigger adult audience through, say, the next 5 or 6 year period? Do you think he's going to have to get off of this teenage rock and roll stuff and appeal more to adults to sustain himself in the business?
Well, that's difficult to say because Presley's going to be around long enough to grow up with the people who originally bought his records. Mm-hmm. And it's difficult to say. Now, I'm sure that the name Presley will be around at least 5 or 10 years, even if he doesn't have a lot of hit records, because of the impact that he's created. In the meantime, in the interim of all this, the people that he originally, the group that he formed his popularity within will have grown out of that category and have taken their place of responsible adult life.
Bob?
Mitch Miller, how are you?
Fine, how are you? You know,
Good
Johnny didn't
you.
know I was here. I've been standing in the back of the room and listening to Johnny talk. And Johnny is stating it right, but he's understating it. And I don't mean to belittle any other artist. But Johnny was an entertainer for everybody from the very first. I'll never forget the night that Johnny opened at the Copacabana. And he had come up so fast that all these tough, rough Broadway columnists and critics came to see what this phenomenon was and prepared to laugh. And there never in the history of the music business or the Copa, never was there such an opening, because they stood up, they cheered, they cried. I mean, Frankie Lane was crying. Frank Sinatra came up. Frank Sinatra had a fight with Ava Gardner. She was so enthusiastic.
Is this true?
This is true.
All these secrets.
Nat Cole was there. All these big, tough pros were so moved by what Johnny did. So this means that Johnny was an adult entertainer as well as a teenage entertainer from the very beginning. And I'm not putting Presley down. He has yet to entertain an adult audience. Very few people know he came to Vegas and lasted 4 days and quickly slunk out of town. Because, you know, when it comes to interpreting an emotion or conveying an emotion, wiggling your legs is no substitute for a good phrase and dramatic ability. That Presley may develop this is very possible. If he's a smart boy, he'll take acting lessons. He'll become a unique talent. He can become a combination motion picture star, singer, sort of a character to express what the young people think. But as of today, still, he is not an entertainer for anyone over 15 or 16.
Well, Mitch, have you ever seen anybody, and I hate to ask this in front of Johnny because maybe it's going to be embarrassing to him, have you ever seen anyone in the entertainment business in the last 10 or 12 years who hit with the impact that Johnny Ray did upon the nation, the overnight sensational impact that he had?
No, I have never seen anything like it, Bob. But not only was it in America, but this was in the world. Mind you, that Johnny can be booked. Johnny can stay out of the United States for 2 years and play to capacity audiences at top money all over the world and just keep going around and make as much as any entertainer in the business. And I'm not embarrassing them, it's just the truth. And we have lots of great artists on Columbia. And
So
it
how
doesn't
come I'm not working this week?
because you're at our convention. We have lots of great artists on Columbia, but we have none that have the universal acceptance that Johnnie Ray has.
Well, that's wonderful. Johnny, can we ask you one more thing? Who is the greatest music mind in records today?
You're looking at him.
Mitch Miller. Mitch, is he right?
Oh, I must admit he's prejudiced.
No,
He's
let me
prejudiced.
tell you.
Well, it's
Let
known
me
in the
tell you,
industry.
if it wasn't for Mitch Miller and my manager, Bernie Lang, I wouldn't be entitled to be here talking to you and making this recording. I may have talent, I don't know what they call it, but if I didn't have them in the beginning, if I didn't have them now, forget it. And it's exactly the way I feel, and now I will say goodbye.
Listen, Johnny, I was kidding Mitch because everyone in my side of the business knows that Mitch has been considered the bearded genius for so many years. Thank you, Johnnie Ray.